Hi, today I am here with Aline Hutchins at the San Jose Historical Museum in San Jose, California.
Welcome to the Historical Museums.
Thank you. I noticed there's a lot of interesting things to see here.
Yes, there are.
Will you please give us some background information about this museum?
It was founded about in the late 60s. In this area, all of the old buildings were being torn down to make room for new development. In the late 60s, the city passed an ordinance that there was going to be an historical museum where they could move old houses and other buildings of note. They located it here on this site, started bringing in houses probably about 1970, and they are still bringing in new exhibits. It's ongoing. Some of the buildings are reproductions of old buildings, but they're very accurate. This is the post office. This was actually the post office in Coyote. The building was built in the 1870s, and they moved into it in 1907. This was the actual Coyote post office until 1973. It had no heat, it had no running water, it had 2 dim light bulbs. It had holes in the walls and mice and rats could come in. They got a telephone in 1970, if you can believe that. In 1973, they closed it up because the city took over the San Jose City Post Office. It included Coyote by then. As with all the machines of that era, you had to either turn a crank or press a lever to get it to work. Nothing was really automatic. Of course, they had no electricity. As you see, the envelope would start here. You'd turn the crank. It would go rapidly through all of this equipment in a straight line, and it would cancel the stamp on the envelope. Now, this is the Checky House. It was built in the 1870s for the Campbell family in Willow Glen. It was bought in 1911 by Mr. Checky. Now, this house originally, of course, at that time had no running water and no electricity. It had a wood stove, all of that. When they got done remodeling it, they remodeled it about in 1925, and it is very modern. Even now, it's very livable. Now, you see, this is the Art Deco style of furniture. It came in about 1925, and it's still popular. And they had something new at that time. They had the radio. Do you see the radio there? The whole family would gather in the living room and listen to the radio. They had, the children were encouraged to play in the living room, which was kind of something new. In the Victorian era, which preceded this era, the children were never allowed in the living room except on special occasions. This is the kitchen of the old house, and here you have something that was unheard of. This house was built about 1875. Here you have a kitchen sink that was remodeled in. That was unheard of at the time that the house was built. There you see an old, ancient mixer, electric mixer. As electricity became wider and wider used, they developed more and more appliances to use it for. This is the dining room of the old Checky house. It was originally built for the Campbell family in Willow Glen. The Campbells did use this as the dining room, but the Checkys never did. They had a family member who was old and couldn't get up the stairs, so this was her bedroom. It was perfect. It was right off the kitchen. She had her own door. Now, this is an old hand-carved 1850s table, drop leaf table, beautiful old oak, and this is depression glass. Do you see the depression glass? Mm-hmm. This was given away in the 20s and 30s with groceries, theater tickets, different things. Gasoline, you'd get them at the gas station. Worthless at the time, very, very collectible now. Mm. Now, this is the Chinese temple, Enshingung, Temple of the Five Gods. The original was built in 1888 out in San Jose. The original Chinatown had a big fire. They were burned out of house and home. A man by the name of John Heinlein built a new Chinatown for them, a very good gated community, and that's where this temple was built. It was out on Market Street. This is a beautiful exhibit. This one right here is the Awakening Lion. And this was made in about 1930, and it was used in Chinese New Year's parades and at dinner parties. They would have the lion go around the room. It's made of paper mache on a balsa wood frame. The eyes would open and close, and the mouth would open and close. The mirrors, you see all the reflective surfaces on it, were there because the evil spirits would see their reflection and become frightened and go away. So this attracted only good spirits. Here we are at the altar in the Temple of the Five Gods. Now, this altar is the original that was saved from the original temple that was built in 1888. It was preserved under the bleachers in the stadium across the way here. Now, it's made of wood carving with gold leaf. It's all made in Canton, China. In the back there, do you see the five gods? There's the god of war and justice. There's the god of wealth, the queen of heaven, the goddess of mercy, and the Canton city gods. These were good-natured gods. They wanted to be liked. The god of wealth was very well liked. Up there you see the pearl of wisdom, looking like the sun. And the Chinese story is that the dragons, you see the teeth, they're trying to get a bite of the pearl of wisdom. Well, here we are out in the trolley barn at the museum, and this is a wonderful place where they do restorations. It's gorgeous. And now our speaker is going to be Mr. Bob Kuhn, a conductor.
Well, thank you. Welcome to the Trolley Museum, Trolley Barn in San Jose's Kelly Park. We have currently 4 streetcars in here that were restored, and 3 of which are in service. We also restored in here all of the old cars that are now running downtown on the light rail line in downtown, the historic system down in downtown San Jose. The barn was built for the singular purpose of restoring these cars, and they were all tested here on our track before going downtown to be put in service. Incidentally, 2 of the cars here are original San Jose cars. The group will be riding on one of those cars, car 124. Actually did run in the city of San Jose until about 1933. And another car that we used to have was virtually identical to it. We also have a car that car came from Sacramento. And we also have one from Melbourne, Australia in downtown service, and we have one from Milan, Italy in downtown service. The trolley barn crew is entirely, with one exception, volunteer. And in my opinion, we could not pay the paid employee enough to have him be paid what he is worth. And that is Mr. Fred Bennett. In fact, this car house is now named after Fred Bennett as a memorial to him, in this case, while he's still around, to know that it was done for him. So what we will do, when you folks are ready to do so, we will take a ride on one of the original San Jose cars, car number 124.
This is the cable cards in Colorado.
Very similar.
Yeah. Very similar. Yeah. Isn't it fun?
Hold the tripod like a little bit.
Fine, how are you?
Thank you, Eileen, for this interesting tour. Will you please tell us where this museum is located at, the hours, and the phone number?
Yes, this is the Historical Museum, San Jose, and it's located at Kelly Park. It's on Center Road at the corner of Center and Phelan. The parking lot is on Center Road. It's open from 12 until 5 every day. They have tours, guided tours between 12 and 3, and they do have a number of children's programs. And the office number is 408-287-2290.
This is Jaron Mitchell reporting to you live at the San Jose Historical Museum in San Jose, California.